ASL Premier League, Group Stage, Round of 32.
In the bottom left-hand corner for the losers bracket here, trying to advance on for Clan Triple T. It is
BeTadre.
And his opponent in the top right, in teal, from, I believe, Formless League, is our Zerg player,
Yaki.
Yeah, but you got to add in Saber too, so it's really 6. Make sure you Bexy, Leth, me, Ender, Genesis, and Saber. So it's really 6 people. Just so you get, so you know. So he was talking about he wanted to tip $5 per caster for the casters, and I'm like, so even though Saber's not a caster, he's behind the scenes, pretty much permanent. So that's just as good as being a caster, you know.
he does more hours than any of us.
Yeah, he does a lot of hours. All right, so losers bracket. We've seen both these guys today. I thought Yaki did a phenomenal job against Saber in at least that first. What was that, the first game on merry-go-round? You know, denying that Reaper harass, denying the Hellions. But the moment that Hellbat showed up, it was GG. You know, how much do you think BeTadre saw out of that, and how far do you think he'll go with what Saber's plan was? Or do you think he'll stick with what he was doing in his set?
Well, Beta will have been watching that. He will have tuned in. He wants to make sure he's sizing up the competition as best as he can. That is critically important in a tournament setting like this, and I have no doubt that that'll have been what he was designed to do. But as for his decision-making process, I don't really feel like I'm qualified to comment on that at this point. He's only seen 2 games out of Yaki, and one of them was a really interesting late-game one. Yaki looked strong in those. And even though he did lose, he looked very, very confident and dominant, except for the bit where he didn't make the anti-air and lost in that second one especially. So really, I think these 2 players are going into this with just how they feel comfortable playing, not really sizing up the mind games, not going too crazy in any places, and just rocking and rolling in the way they feel most appropriate.
Well, I'm going to have to differ with you.
Okay.
And I got a good reason.
Go for it. You know BeTadre, I don't, so you fire away.
Well, think about BeTadre's first set. Now, he watched Yaki. What was the one thing we kept emphasizing about Yaki? Macro, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even scout and went CC right after Rex.
Why not CC first?
Yeah. But not CC first. But, I mean, he only produced 1 Marine. But he did not scout at all. And if he was paying attention to how consistent we're talking about Yaki's macro, why would you be worried about a rush?
It's a fair point.
You know?
Yeah, it is a very good point. He actually did open gasless, which is fairly infrequently seen in the current meta. And the reason he felt safe to do that is, as you say, he's seen the macro. So that's actually a really sharp read that I missed out on there. He then put down 2 gases, and he's rushing in the direction, I'd have to guess, of Banshee, but I'm not totally sold on that point.
Yeah.
What I think he'll do is he'll lift this factory, put it down on there, and then take that coming down on the barracks, getting the fastest aggression possible, effectively. And he's going to turn up at a reasonable timing with some serious mechy attack to try and punish Yaki's early game greed that we've seen.
Yeah, and Yaki really doesn't. I mean, Yaki has an overlord right north of the base in a position to go scout here. Going to want to do that in the next minute. I'm waiting for the reaction time on that, because otherwise Yaki's just not going to see this coming. Yaki does have both watchtowers, and the right side of the map would be the only vulnerability, as there's no overlord until you hit the base. Yeah. I'm thinking of Banshee pathing.
The vision's really nice, but right now, Yaki is actually showing a bit of a deviation, because as you said, in the previous 2 games, super macro. What do we see now? 14 lanes, 8 roaches on their way. really, really aggressive and fast roach timing coming out of our Zerg player, roach leading timing coming out of our Zerg player, and he's actually going to turn up before there's really that much for BeTadre to defend, especially with this slash wall across between the natural wall and the main, rather than across the natural front. This is risk.
Well,
it's really nice too.
One.
Sorry,
But, I was going to point out the Overlord did scout the Cloak Banshee.
Yes, that's true. That is good, and he's going to know that that's a weakness, but still no spores.
I'm surprised that Yaki's actually still moving in, knowing that Banshee was showing up.
No, well, he can't do anything about it, but he's made the units now, so his intention at this point is really kind of control. What he's going to do is he's going to move in, and I would have said go straight for the SCVs, trying to do as much damage there as possible. Instead, trying to focus down the bunker. That's not what you want to do.
We saw Bexy do that the other day.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here it comes. Going for those SCVs, fighting a few Hellions as well, which will deny harassment potential for BeTadre, but the units lost comparison is hugely, hugely in favour of our Terran player.
Yep, second Banshee's out on the field now.
Yeah, spores are going up though, so the cloak isn't going to do all that much, but no lair, no real transitioning for Yaki at this point.
No, not at all. I mean, the roaches are heading home. Managed to save 3 of them. Heavy droning, 7 drones coming. Still no lair tech, which my gut reaction is where the Hydras. But you're right. You know, there's no lair tech yet, so there's no overseer. He has to stay around a spore crawler.
Here they come. So now the Banshees have come in range of the detection, but actually,
There's
2
not gonna be
Banshees
enough
are
here.
just killing off the Queens.
Oh my.
Is this... Are 2 Banshees about to win another Terran again? Because we saw Saber do a very, very similar thing to this, where he just turned over with his Banshees. How many kills was it? 27?
Yeah, I believe that. I believe I remember 27.
That's a lot more kills than any Banshee should be allowed to have. That's Oracle levels of kills.
Yeah. Well, while we're watching this Banshee stab away at this hatchery, I want to thank you guys, especially the one, whoever was talking today about that they donated to the chip jar. The casters appreciate it. It's the one thing that we all split evenly at the end of the season. But also remember, we got the Patreon page, which those funds go pretty much directly to just helping pay for the ASL. Because it's not cheap.
WW COD 1986. Did you get the cancel? He didn't get it.
No, he didn't
check I read
cancel
that right. That's important. Yeah, WW COD 1986 has apparently donated for $5 to every caster. What a hero!
Sweet. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the season, we can all sit back and.
That's so
right.
nice.
These Banshees are having fun. Actually taking out a creep tumor. Which way are they going to go? That way? It's going to work out the creep here, I guess.
Shooting down all of that, denying that map vision potential, but actually there are still some active tumors out on the map that have escaped the Banshee's missile-flavoured attention. They are going to just be drifting around the map at this point. They're being as irritating as possible, poking in, getting at the drones. But Yaki's managed to get his lair up back in his base. Even if he is only on 2 bases, he's got his lair up, and he's got the hydrogen up, like he thought was a good plan. And it's not... Oh, that's not nice. 7 hydras in production, but where's the detection? We need to see an overseer.
Yeah, I'm waiting on 1 overseer. Such a problem solver.
Yeah, and she's not so great at shooting those fire units. Here they come. The hydras are about to pop out, and this Banshee's about to run out of energy, but hydrogen goes down. I don't understand why he built it so far away. Maybe it was to hide it.
Yeah, well, one Banshee got knocked out, but for the cost of hydrogen. And, yeah. Here comes a siege tank bioforce straight up the middle of the map. I think it's going to go right after that 3rd.
If we see Yaki produce anything that isn't units, like right now, I can't see how he's going to be able to hold this, because there are 7 hydras and a couple of static defense units on the map. But 3 siege tanks, stimmed bio.
Oh my goodness.
Against 1-1 Marines as well. The huge damage output of bio units for Terran, ripping through that, getting off the spore, cancelling the 3rd. Last ditch defense for Yaki back towards his natural, and is there going to be a push? Are you going to push towards it?
Well, here comes a whole bunch more Hydras, about 11. Stimming forward into those nice soft Hydras.
I bet they are. Yeah, with
Wow.
1-1 upgrades as well. This is so good for BeTadre to be engaging where he is.
Oh,
It needs to
boy.
be outside the range of the tanks. The Roach Hydra count is actually getting a little bit higher now, so it's possible that if the engagement is good for Yaki, if he manages to engage outside of tank range, then it's gonna maybe this push can be held. This is the moment. This is the one he needs. Can that be seen? Has the Yaki got the vision? The creep's been killed off. No.
No, it got killed off.
And the third base for BeTadre is coming down behind this because he knows his opponent is at home rather than across the map attacking. He knows he's safe at the moment.
Oh my goodness, now he's... this is so rough. This has been just a good old Terran day, huh?
Yeah, the Terrans are looking so good. I just got
Small
over the
contingent of forces actually moving out over here.
Little 3 Hydras, 2 Roaches pushing towards the third base, but there's a tank there. That is not happening. There's tanks everywhere. Everywhere that Yaki wants to be engaging, there's always a tank just bunny hopping forwards now, advancing towards the natural. And all the time, the macro and the position for BeTadre gets stronger, whilst Yaki gets weaker as he mines out of his bases.
Yep. I mean, he's going to have to move into this here very shortly.
Oh, he's trying to bait the Hydras into the siege tanks because they're getting 2 or 3 shot.
Oh, he's going to go for a counterattack.
Gets past! Okay, so Yaki now has a decision to make. Does he wait for the tanks to unsiege and run back in, trying to recatch it, or does he go across the map? It looks like he is opting to... He's actually going for a surround. He's going to try and swing around the back.
Oh, okay.
He's crazy. He's absolutely mad. Would never have called that one.
Yeah, I guarantee you right now, that's not what BeTadre is thinking. He's thinking there's an attack.
No, but he is. The Marines run backwards to watch for that exact thing. That is such
Oh,
smart,
you see the reaction speed there?
God, that's good. Really clever.
Oh, he should just... Okay, yeah, this is going to be both sides, I think.
The tanks are nice and protected, but even as Yaki gears up for this big flank, there's a drop going into the main that's going to do huge damage because there's no units to clean it up. The Hydras are going to get up the tanks, though.
He's focusing down the lair tech.
Yeah, I think the lair's going to go down. Yaki finally manages to clean up the force outside his natural and may be able to take a third, but at the cost of his main and it's so many units.
Oh my.
Hydras are great, but they're not dealing with nearly 3-1 bio grade. The upgrades are non-existent for Yaki. The minerals haven't been invested.
Oh, got a Banshee.
Yeah, not too bad. BeTadre is pushing towards the middle of the map once again.
This should be the final push.
This should be a killer. It's going to be so difficult, and I think he's just waiting for +3. No, maybe not. Just going to push out +3, relying on +3 to hit in 50 seconds. As you know, just letting it do it when it fancies. He feels safe enough at this point to just go on in, and he's probably right. He really probably is. There's a lot of good tanks here. His bio is very well upgraded, and if he stims in, he might be able to win even without the tanks. But the tanks are there to back him up should he need them.
Yeah, 2-1 upgrades is 0-1 now.
Yep. Big.
Oh!
That first tank volley must have stung a bit. And throughout this whole game, BeTadre has taken such nice engagements, never being outside the range of his own tanks, never letting the Zerg get that advantage back without knowing that he's more than made it worthwhile. And this is good TVZ play. This is really nice stuff. And as you can see, Yaki is constrained and constricted once more. He's nearly mined out of his main, even though he is re-expanding there. It's only really his natural keeping him alive in this game.
Man, he's getting bold here.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of banelings though.
Oh, he's gonna pull back. Run, Bio, run.
The Marauders tanked it all. The Marauders and tanks tanked all of those banelings, and Yaki knows that was his last hope.
Let's go to the consolation bracket. It is
BeTadre.
And his opponent In cross spawns and spawning in the Zerg pants from the Formless League, we have
Yaki.
Yep. What do you think about this cross spawn being so advantageous for our Zerg player?
That's basically what I was going to say. It's really advantageous for our Zerg player.
That was basically what Yaki wanted. Picked this map and said, "Please give me a cross spawn."
Yeah, it was a gamble and it paid off. Well, it's paid off for now anyway. In theory, it's paid off. We'll have to see if it pays off as we continue into the game, because there are still options for BeTadre. He could, I'm a bit surprised not to see CC first on this map.
Well, you said you are surprised or aren't surprised?
Yeah, I would have gone CC first again, but then I just feel like CC first is nice.
Here's my thing is, I agree with BeTadre here. Drop the Rex, go CC right after it immediately, of course. But get the Reaper, I thought maybe he was getting gas. I was going to say get one Reaper, because you need to know if, even though this is a huge map, if your opponent's Zerg opponent is doing a one-base play. You need to know. So just get one scouter over there and then move into macro. And if you want to CP first, it just takes that much longer. Maybe totally unprepared. I just personally would rather be, in the know.
I spent a lot of time back in the old Platinum League days just going, you know what, I'm in a macro and I'm not going to scout, and if I lose, I lose. But then actually I did get sick of losing, so I now scout properly. It's served me well. Scouting is very, very important, and a lot of players underestimate it. So you're definitely right that the Reaper would have been strong. However, BeTadre going gasless at first, and then going into a Marine. A little bit counter meta there, perhaps trying to catch an Overlord.
Yep. Alright, so now we got both the expansions. So this game's going to go for a little bit. Interestingly enough, though, BeTadre is taking 3 guesses, 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yeah, this is a mirror. Well, no, it's not a mirror. It's a repeat of the build we saw in the previous game, where he goes gas to command center and then takes double gas. I think we're going to see factory followed by starport coming out of our Terran. It's
so
the last game, and that's
be a repeat.
Yeah, I do.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, he did win the first game, so I guess
he did win the first game. I'm waiting for the factory now. There it is.
Yep. You're right there, and I'm waiting for the third base from Yaki.
Yeah, I'm not right yet though. We have to wait and see. But Yaki could take. Well, he could theoretically take a faster third with no Reaper out, and that's something that we haven't been seeing that much. He hasn't been responding to the actions of his opponent necessarily that well, and capitalizing on some of the macro advantages that could grant.
Yeah. Well, again, Yaki, just like last game, immediately taking both of those watchtowers. Very wise move. Actually can see that SCV that was poking around. Is this BeTadre's first scout round? Yeah, okay. So he's just now about to find Yaki for the first time.
Yeah, he's gonna see it. And normally you see a Zerg produce 4 Fallings, but clearly the queens are just going to drive it away. Even so, revealing all of those queens tells that basically, if he's on point, if you notice that, seeing that many queens this early does reveal that Yaki went for a gasless opening.
Yep. And that should also obviously tell Yaki's BeTadre that there's a third base on the way, which there is.
Yeah, needed really to scout that with the SCV, because if the gas came down a little bit early instead of that third base, it could just be a rush towards lair tech or something like that, and even big roach aggression like we saw in the previous game. But in this instance, Yaki, sticking with the style he thinks is best, going for the macro.
Well, here's the one reason I do like this Banshee play from BeTadre. And I'm not a huge fan of it, and it's going to be scouted here, but this is such a big map that for a Terran player, you've got to rely primarily on Hellions, fast units to get across this map. You need... What's the second fastest Terran unit?
After the boosted medevac.
Yeah, I was thinking that. What would get Hellions like a Zergling, like a Phoenix. Those are the 3 speediest guys, I think.
The
Oracle might
be
be
the fastest unit is a speedling. Then it's a charging charge lock.
So a speedling can outrun a charging charge lock?
It's like 0.01 faster in terms of, seriously, it's that little. Like a charging charge lock, if you've ever seen them chase after speedlings that are running away, they will cover like half the map. They are fast.
Wow, that's awesome.
These lings, without speed, are really struggling to catch up with the Hellions on the note of speed and general things related
all
to
things
it.
Considered.
Yes, all things related to the concept of fastness. So Yaki's going to have to defend with the Queens very much, and there's a bit of an opening into his natural that the Hellions could exploit if we see a scan go down. Is that where they're going? Seen by the Overlord though, so Yaki should know that's where they're going. But he doesn't see, he's not reacting. Not fast enough, the Hellions are going to get in.
Oh my god, no! Light him up!
Yep. Not losing too many drones to the initial assault, but only Ling's really there to deal with this. Oh, nice surround though, catching all of those Hellions behind the mineral line. Yaki cleans up very, very effectively. That wasn't too bad. It's attacking the third base. Only 6 workers killed there, and this Banshee is kind of focusing the Queens, but Yaki hasn't reacted. He doesn't have the detection, he doesn't have the spores, even though the lair is complete. He's got some spores in 2 of the bases actually.
He's got a spore in the third. There comes an overseer.
Here we go. Yaki just generally responding a little bit better this game than we've seen in the previous.
Ooh, that was close.
Second Banshee coming out for BeTadre, and the Overlord drifting in from Yaki. He's not, I think, paying attention to that, but he has technically got a full scout off, so he knows what his opponent is doing. He sees the starport with an add-on, that's going to be a reactor. He sees the tech lab on the factory, so he knows he's up against tanks, and that should, in theory, give Yaki a lot of chance to react to that. But right now, he's all focused at home, using the Queens to deal with Banshees. Well, trying to, at least.
This has got to tell Yaki you're looking at something very similar to last game. So, how do you counter last game better with your second chance? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you see the same build, you think, oh, am I going to lose to this again? Hell no, I saw what this was, I know what I'm doing now, I've got this.
I think his thought process here is go with the Banelings, which he's going to lose his Baneling nest.
That is actually quite unfortunate. The spore has now finished and the Banshee's run out of close, so this Queen should be able to chase it away. I'd actually kind of like to see a transfuse on this Baneling nest just to make sure it doesn't die, but I don't think that is what we're going to see.
Just so you know, I need to tell you really quick here. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, but there is a severe thunderstorm right now.
Oh, really?
So the reason I'm telling you that I'm in the middle of the desert I know we're having a dust storm, sandstorm, lightning storm right now. And so if I just vanish, that's probably because I lost power.
Okay, well,
I just want to give you that heads up. So.
That's very good.
Well, it only rains 10 days a year here.
That's true.
I've
heard that about Arizona.
Yeah. So, I bet you the dog just went hiding under the bed.
This big Ling force from Yaki, I was kind of expecting to be morphed into Banelings, or perhaps used to either launch some aggression or harass the third, but the third harassment didn't happen because the third hasn't been taken yet. It's still just sat in the main doing almost nothing for BeTadre because he hasn't turned it into an orbital. BeTadre does have this similar kind of marine tank force that we saw in the game before, pushing out, but this time Yaki is so much more ready for it. His Spire is quite late, so he's not going to have the sniping potential on the tanks to the extent that he might want, but Ling Bane is a pretty good composition just in general. If he engages well, if he catches the siege tanks out of position with these 30 Lings that are now in production, then I think BeTadre might have to go home here. Oh, there we go.
He's going to just bait him.
Yeah, not falling for it.
Good job there. I mean, yeah, I can't believe he didn't fall for that.
No, really nice. Not overcommitting at all is Yaki. And actually, this could be it. Where is it?
Yeah, I was looking at the marine wall that blocked the Zerglings from going straight at the siege tanks.
Yeah, nice control there. But same can be said for Yaki, who lost barely any Banelings in that attack, pulling them back as soon as he saw that it wasn't going to work.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see the overall resources lost. Yaki's behind by about 900, but Oh, there was a changeling in your army. I bet you feel stupid.
No, it just ran towards it and got sniped out by the Marines almost immediately. He got good vision, but not necessarily enough. Do those tanks have vision to the banelings? Not sorry, range to the banelings, but not quite. Cancelling a couple of those, but again, those are permitted to finish morphing. But he needs the gas that he's spending on those planes.
He got away! He got away. But there's more banelings behind him now.
I think you should send the banelings straight to the other base. I think you should force the Terran to retreat by counterattacking. That's what we like to see out of Zergs. Counterattacks and counterattacks. 14 Mutalisks going to be backing up this Ling Bane army, finally getting into the fight. And if Yaki counterattacks, I think this force has to go home for BeTadre. He had this opportunity.
Oh, he's going to save the Marines.
Oh, nice pick up on those tanks, though. 2 tanks going down. 14 Mutalisks going to charge across.
Oh, boy. Let's see the reaction. Well, we got the 1 turret. I mean, the Marines are going to be certainly, 1-1 upgrades for 0-0 is always helpful. I would teardrop your units. Come on, guy.
Not quite getting it. And actually, a bit of a premature stim out of BeTadre. Going to stim and run towards those Mutas who just hang out in the no-walk zone. They're cool with this. They don't mind.
Yep. Yeah. Alright, now we got some Lings coming in to reinforce. 14 drones on the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's amazing? Through all of that pressure, Yaki established his 4th base. So, if we see him start spending this money a little bit, he's got banked up, and he should be doing that.
Yeah, he just hit critical number for workers. He's at 80. This is where Yaki finally wanted to be.
Not the worst banelings in the world, gotta say. Little bit just kind of positioned away from the rest of the army, perhaps to catch the Marine bio out of position, and it was successful. Yep. You get the counterattack as well. The Muta's going to fly in and pick off all those tanks, but the bio's running in, and it could just pick off this 4th base really, really effectively. I don't see a way for this to survive.
No, 4th base is gone, but he's going to lose all his reinforcing troops. Bailey is going to try and surround here.
Not too bad connections either, but the Mutas should not be fighting Marines. That's not where they're good. That's not the strength of the Mutalisk.
He overstimmed though.
He did overstim. I mean, the Baneling is 1-shot instead of 2-shot. Bit of a waste using it on that Marauder, but it happens. And the Mutas are now going to chase the rest of the Terran forces back across the map. As the dust settles, we are left with 16 Mutalisks still out on the map, and not a whole lot to deal with it except missile turrets. From our Terran player.
Man, he just walked right across the map and said, I watched the Banelings the whole way.
He's feeling pretty good. Yaki needs to put down more bases. He needs production. He needs lava. What's his lava count? He's at 16. Why isn't he spending his money?
Yeah, he needs to start spending. He's got a ton of money, ton of larva.
There we go.
And he's already got a good number of drones.
He does. 72 drones is a pretty decent number. But these Mutalisks, they aren't really doing as much as they could be in this game. I'd like to see some harassment. And even if it's just into the natural or something, if he runs in, and he can shoot down that turret in basically 1 shot with 16 Mutalisks. I don't know the exact figures, I will be honest. And he's kind of just keeping it at home, using it as an army unit rather than to its full harassment potential. Ooh, bit of friendly splash there as that Ling runs towards the tank sieging up on the natural. No, that's a Ling. I want to see a 5th out of Yaki. Oh, it's going down. There we go. Nice job, Yaki. You've got this. Bane's morphing in to defend this Terran bio as it pushes forwards. If it overextends onto creep, there could be a really, really good surround, but there needs to be more and more Lings being produced, otherwise the tanking just isn't going to exist. This is good, though.
Intercepting the bad troops.
Yeah. This is lovely.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
And they're actually just flying along the reinforcement. Oh, no. Okay,
Run!
Okay. Getting out of there. And if we'd seen the Lings move into the tanks at that moment, because I think they could have got in whilst the bio was out of position, that would have been a really nice move. But instead, we do see the Ultralisk cannon coming down. Ultras are a pretty good unit. I don't think anyone would argue with that, especially now that they've got the buffs in Heart of the Swarm a year ago. And
go the siege tanks.
Yeah.
Oh, decent splits. Only lost half.
Losing a lot of medevacs to the Muta attack as well. And actually, there's not that many. Oh, the Baneling picks off all of the Marines 6 more coming across. I think that Mutas can actually engage 6 Marines. That is a safe number. There's enough Mutas there.
Yeah. He can take that.
Oh, still losing 1 though. Marines are good. Anyone ever seen that before? Marines, pretty good unit.
Marines usually do an amazing job.
Yes.
Straight up versus Mutas. Ugh. Now, what's his upgrades? 2-2 to 0-1 for those. I'm looking at the Mutas.
Yeah, Carapace is a good decision against Marines, but it's quite hard to get the fast upgrades there. And this 2-2 bio, as you say, is shoving towards 3rd. Spines there aren't going to do much against Marauders, and the the Mutalisks are being pulled back to help deal with this. This is a lot of reinforcements. This is actually a really scary amount of units coming through towards Yaki's base. BeTadre is going to clean up this attack before it picks up the 3rd. BeTadre is getting towards kind of mined out in that he is almost mined out of his main base. He's getting towards mined out of his natural base, and he has no 4th. He's been unable to take a 4th base, and if Yaki can stay in the macro position he's in with his 4th and 5th bases both complete, then he's going to be able to pull through into the mid to late game much better than his opponent. That's kind of possibly going to be the kicker for BeTadre in this game, because overall, I just want to see the engagement. Yeah, he's traded better by a good 3,000 resources lost, but Yaki, even though he's not perhaps taking the best engagements and the general control from BeTadre has been better, he's got this nice macro thing going on, really nice macro, and BeTadre is getting towards kind of starved.
Here we go again. This time Ultras, he's going to see these Ultras.
Yeah, he knows that. Ultralisk good unit, and there aren't that many Marauders to deal with them. Engaging out without the Mutalisks is a bit of a risk, but actually, Ultralisks are pretty good.
Yeah,
especially when they're facing majority Marines. That's
man. Oh boy. I mean, they got the chitinous plating gives them an additional +2 armor. So +5 armor on those Ultras. Not counting, he already got the +2 melee. He's about to have 3-3 done.
Yes, and adrenal glands are going to come down to help those Lings continue their use into the late game. 30 of them in production, 2 more Ultralisks. I think Yaki realizes that if he plays this out smart, if he plays a lovely bit of spoon, then we could very well see a Zerg victor here on Frost.
Yeah, it's possible.
You can feel it. I can feel it. This is looking real good.
What are we at?
You know what would be cool?
Supply 167 to 111.
You know what would be cool? If you mix some Queens in with this army.
Oh yeah.
To transfuse the Ultralisks.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, get the creep up and established, and then use the Queens to kind of to pump.
If it wasn't such a big map and his creep spread hadn't been pushed back twice already, I think he'd definitely consider that. But that'd be such a long walk for the Queens.
Yeah, there is one now with the army, but it seems to be using its energy for the admittedly noble cause of creep. And there's a drop in the 4th now, but I think it's going to get cleaned up with Mutas. It's going to get cleaned up pretty effectively. And actually, as the medevac flies over the no drop zone, the Mutas kill it. That's what boost is for. Bit of miss micro out of BeTadre.
Yep, and here comes another little push into the 4th phase.
Whatever this one is now, I think it was 3rd originally. But BeTadre can't afford to keep trading like this. His income is so low, down to 300 and it's under 400.
Look at the supply counts. It's Yaki is just growing with each attack.
He's got more and more money as he takes more and more bases, and finally,
I think he's in an unlosable situation at this point. If he can hold off that 4th base.
Oh, you see that? And on the note of the 4th base, BeTadre has accidentally not landed it. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well, it's going to cost him some extra money for sure.
It is, like, quite a lot. There's mules long distance mining, and he talked about 5 of them. Muta's just drifting in, sniping up a tech lab, and not trading inefficiently because nothing got to trade with them. There we go, finally landing, but BeTadre must be kicking himself. He knows what's happened there.
Yeah, that was a lot of transfer workers. 43, not counting mules.
Yeah, a lot of Ultralisks as well. Ultra Bane is actually a really good composition in that it's incredibly expensive and quite all-in, just because Banelings are by nature a pretty all-in unit in themselves. But if they get those connections, if supported by the Fungals, then they can just win games outright, and that could be what we're about to witness here as Yaki moves in. Yes, GG called by BeTadre. There will be a third game.
Tied 1 game apiece. Looking for that coveted spot in the consolation bracket against Endersword. It is from Clan Triple T.
BeTadre.
And his opponent in the teal trunks, across in the short spawns, it turns out, from, oh god, I forgot the team again. It's our Zerg player.
Yaki.
It's formless gaming. It's formless gaming.
That's right.
I got there. I remembered it just after it was all happening. It's like, oh, why couldn't I remember that 3 seconds ago? But it is like 5:30 in the morning where I am. I have been awake for a long time.
Well, you want to know what funny is? Triple T is not the actual name.
Well,
you know, it's an abbreviation. But everybody, because it says Triple T, it sounds like the clan all by itself. You know. But Triple T actually is terrifying through teamwork. Triple 3 T's. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's just interesting. It's been known as Triple T just because it looks like that's what the name is, you know?
I've only ever heard it referred to as Triple T. Oh, Yaki.
Yeah.
Oh, Yaki.
I had to. I think Saber told me not to ping the map, but I had to do it.
He did say not to pick them up, but he's not here right now, so he can't stop you. Yaki is he's going for an unconventional strategy. That's a hatchery in his opponent's base. He's going to put down that pool, following it up, and I'm interested to see if he takes gas, because this could be either Lings or Roaches, but I think Lings is more likely, because part of the strength of the Terran in the early game is its walling capabilities, and its defensive potential through that and the repair. So once the enemy is inside the walls, what do? You tell
the crowd we want to see proxy hatch hype. I want to see that. Yep, there we go. Get the hype train going for proxy hatch.
The thing about the proxy hatch hype train is it turns up 3 minutes earlier in a different station to the one you expect it to be in.
Yeah, he's actually taking another base behind it.
God.
Oh,
Yaki. Yaki. Even if you lose this game, you have won my heart. I love how this guy plays because he's crazy.
Yep. I like seeing some unconventional play. You absolutely need that queen. The queen is so important when you do a proxy hatch.
When is it? It's still invisible.
For the next second or so, it will be, yes. And there's 2 Marines. The Lings are out, but he's trying to buy himself time here.
It's there. It's visible.
Queen's almost out. Yeah, he can see it now. He can see it.
Well, where's the reaction? The Marines are all totally out of place. They're killing off that Overlord in the natural and actually supply blocking Yaki. But when you supply block, you supply block the Zerg, but he's actually producing in your base. He's got Lings in your base right now. This is happening.
This is happening.
The barracks is reactoring. There's no more Marines coming out right at this point. So if these units get cleaned up, but then there's not going to be any more Marines for about half a minute, and more Lings with this queen are going to be coming out to support.
Yep.
I'm kind of hushing myself because I'm really conscious that someone in the next room is trying to sleep. But
no, don't try to run, queen. What are you doing? Attack! The queen would have actually done some reasonable damage.
There are a lot of Lings about to pop.
Oh,
they're on their way.
Right.
So many SCVs have been killed. Down to 12. No!
Oh.
Just kill them! Just kill them!
Oh my goodness, they're so soft. There's so many more coming out though.
There are. Just kill the SCVs. If you kill the SCVs, the game's over.
Oh! They're so soft. They're so soft. Oh goodness.
I don't even know anymore. 6 more Lings are on their way out of this proxied hatchery from Yaki. They are, I think, just going to die now. The forces of BeTadre have been mustered, but even so, there's a total of 6 SCVs. 3 are attacking the
none of them
hatchery.
are mining.
1 isn't mining.
Oh yeah, mules just went down. And he took out all the other 3 SCVs.
Oh god, why? This is such a sad day to be a Terran player. Yaki going for the maddest cheese. Like, seriously, proxy first hatch into second hatch.
Yeah, he's actually on 2 bases.
He went hatch first in his opponent's main.
Oh my.
I thought the Broodings might have got some kills and that would have just been insult.
Oh! They were trying. He's still got those 3 larvae.
Yeah. Behind this, we're seeing definitely droning. I mean, the drones have just gone into production, so it looks really obvious now I say it. But the point stands. The droning is going after Yaki because he knows that he's got this amazing, amazing macro lead. His opponent is either going to go all in, and he's going to have to defend, or his opponent is going to be killed by whatever pressure he decides to put on. And Yaki really, really should be just deciding to, I think, go for roaches and try and close out this game.
Yeah. And let's see what it's going to be.
I guess that's just what I would do. I can't call it for these players. You can only lair actually. Interesting.
Fast mutas, since now there's actually a turret going down despite the chaos going on in BeTadre's base.
I really would have gone roaches. I really think roaches is a better choice here because the more time that Yaki gives BeTadre, the more time BeTadre has to use those mules to get himself back into a confident position in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say, BeTadre is not out of it right now. I think that Overlord's basic point was just how many workers there were.
Yeah. And there are not many. We can see that there's 14 for BeTadre, 40 for Yaki. That's a pretty big differential in workers. Yaki should be looking so dominant, but if he waits for this, whatever he's trying to do with his lair tech, and
maybe a Hydra lift then for a Hydra timing. I know it sounds very unconventional. It's not normal, but I almost feel like that's what we're going to see here.
It would be really unconventional. I like it, but the reason I don't think it's going to be the case is because the melee upgrades are being started rather than the range upgrades.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's kind of an indicator. So either Ling back to Ultra again.
I think Yaki's trying to play standard after this, rather than going for a kill stroke. He's not chancing it. There are 3 Lings in the natural, just cause. Not sure why, but they seem to be having a good time. Could even kill this SCV. Just watching this little guy. Yep, free SCV. Feeling pretty good about that. And towards the potential 3rd base of Yaki, the Lings clean up the Hellions as well. So the pressure on that is going to be shut down.
That was without Ling speed.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. 18 workers have been killed up to this point by Yaki. So not too shabby. Well, another Overlord committing Overlordicide. Blech. There you go.
It doesn't sound like that many, does 18 workers, but when you remember this was at like the 5-6 minute mark, you realise that was all of the workers really in the game for BeTadre. So the fact that he's still alive now is a bit of a miracle. Yaki, in his infinite mercy, is sparing his opponent for now, but the Spire is getting towards complete. There's a Binding Nest as well, and I think Yaki's just going to build up some money and go for a big kill stroke as he throws away all these...
I say most of them.
Yeah.
Well, 3 bases now for Yaki with a 16 worker lead. And he was down to 3, just like somebody just said in the chat. By the way, we're up to 268 viewers, so we're doing pretty good here.
Damn, that is a lot of viewers. Wow.
Not bad. But what I was trying to say, and I lost my train of thought. Oh, they were talking about the 3 SCVs. He's down to 3 SCVs and 2 mules. How is this game going on right now?
It's because Yaki let him live. If Yaki does somehow lose this game, he only has himself to blame, I think, for not just murdering his opponent straight up with roaches.
Yeah.
But I still think the ball is very much in Yaki's court. If he chooses to swing and miss, drop that creep.
Yeah, he needs to poop that creep now. Great eye! Oh, he's got it all the way moved. He's got it on the move command. Oh, he totally could have denied that.
Yeah. It sounds a bit like we're biased towards the Zerg player, but really I feel like it's simply because he kind of did something cool and nearly closed out the game, and I feel like because he's got to that point, he should perhaps be already there. But that third base, even though it landed, it's going straight back because there's Mutalisks and they'll just shut it down.
Yep. I don't mind either of these players win. The Zerg has been very creative.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just think this is super cool. And once again, another fantastic series coming out of these players.
Yeah, and either one of these guys is going to be fun to watch against Undersword.
Just watching this tank push. We've seen this in every game from BeTadre so far. He moves across the map with 3 tanks and tries to put some pressure. No medevac. And actually a little bit of a... I don't know what the word would be. The Bailey Morph is in a little bit of a risky location, and losing a few of those before they really get time to come in. But this is not the previous game. In the previous game, this was difficult for Yaki to hold. In this game,
no problem.
He's ahead. He's so far ahead, and he's got the meter count up. He's making 20 lings at a time. Actually, not droning that much. Getting a few. I think to saturate up is natural. Or I hope so anyway, because he's falling behind in the worker count a little bit, and that's considering, as you said, the Terran was on 3 workers. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're right. I like the way he held that attack much more efficiently than previous games, and I think partially it was because BeTadre didn't have a watchtower to sit at to give him that extended siege tank vision. He just kind of had to walk out there. There was nowhere for him to really pick and stop. And here
he's going to swing by into the main. Yeah. Almost getting an STV, but not quite. And actually, losing a Mutalisk. Losing one Mutalisk. Okay. Not too catastrophic. Behind this, Yaki's actually droning, so he's not planning on putting on any big attacks anytime soon. He's just establishing himself nicely into the economic lead in the game, and getting those upgrades to back it all up.
Yep. And that's one thing BeTadre was doing pretty good in the past, was being up on his upgrades. And because he got set back so far, he doesn't even have 1-1 yet.
It's true. Seeing Bio with an upgrade lead fight against Zerg is absolutely disgusting. It is such a huge damage output disparity. Oh no, Mutalisk!
Whoa! No. He lost 2 for nothing.
Okay, well, back to the point about the upgrades. It's a big deal to have an upgrade in this matchup, an upgrade lead either way, and with the upgrade favouring the Zerg, BeTadre is going to be hard pressed to fight against this.
I like that somebody said, well, who tries to lose their game?
Pushing out, denying some creep. BeTadre doesn't have that many tanks actually. He's only got 1 tank, and that splash damage is so important in denying the Lings and Banes.
Yep. And here we come with that constant stream of units again.
Yeah. But at this point, Yaki should really just be kind of trying to either tech up or perhaps even max out. He's getting these really nice armies, but he's got a big gas bank, and that could be spent on something.
Oh, the Mute is out of position. 3 gone for sure.
This keeps happening.
Wow.
The old Baneling force, though. As the Marines move in, the Banelings will too, and they're so far on creep.
Oh my goodness.
Where's the lift?
Pick them up, pick them up.
There too. So many Banes as well. Even with the Banelings going off inefficiently against the tanks, this push has effectively been cleaned up. A little bit left.
And
actually, you know what?
Oh, there goes another creep killer.
I'm looking at this now, and I thought that he'd clean this push up, but now with this few Mutalisks remaining, it's actually quite difficult to push into. Yeah, it's quite difficult to push into until these Lings come out to reinforce, even when fighting on creep. Nice picking up the tanks though by the Mutas. Yaki's trying to pull his opponent apart really nicely, and he's buying himself time to make more and more Lings and more Banelings.
Yes, he is.
Here they come.
Actually, 30 more Lings and 28 more Banelings.
So many Banelings, 28 Banelings morphing in outside the 3rd base, 4th base being taken by Yaki as well. I just feel like he could have base.
What happened?
There's creep on it.
I know, but he already had landed it.
He flew it back. He saw the meters, he flew it back.
Oh. Should just build some turrets.
And he didn't have any SCVs out there. He didn't have medevacs at the time either. He was desperately trying to macro his way back.
I looked back and I'm like, there's creep on it. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I actually agree with that decision. He did it a little bit earlier than perhaps he needed to, but it worked out okay. I love this attempt by BeTadre to take the watchtowers. Just unfortunately moved across creep and didn't quite make it, so was denied. This huge Baneling army. The creep spread is right here. The scan goes down just in time to see that the Banelings are at the front door. Wow, that was a good engagement for Yaki. Forcing that lift up. The Muses are really out of position, actually trying to fight missile turrets towards the third base, but now they can just swing into the natural, backed up by the Banes that have just engaged there.
And the reinforcements are getting cleaned up, and they're on the move command.
Yeah, drop going towards the fourth base, actually. Big army going towards the fourth. Mutas are not going to be able to deal with that on their own. They really need some defenses. Don't push into that, Yaki. No. Okay.
And he does. Well, he only lost one.
I don't understand why he keeps doing this. He keeps losing just a couple of Mutalisks. And one of the things I often say is you...
Oh, he sniped it. Pick it up. No.
Oh!
Why wouldn't you pick it up?
I don't know.
Oh, well, it didn't matter. The medevacs didn't make it home.
No, they didn't.
25 mutas. 0-1 upgrade.
Damn. Pretty serious losses taken there by BeTadre. Don't think that was necessarily worth it by this point in the game, because he's lost so much army supply. Yeah, one of the things what I was trying to say about the mutas. What I was trying to say about the mutas is you can spot a great player, tell a great player apart from a good player by how few mutalisks they lose.
Yep. I remember you saying that yesterday.
Yeah, I'll say it every time I see a Zo player lose mutalisks, to be honest. It's very bad when that happens. That was a nice control, though. And we're seeing kind of a re-expansion program by Yaki that will be scouted by the Marine towards the fourth, and there's another one up towards the north being denied by an SCV, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be denied, but that also, yeah, so he'll know about it. We're looking at 42 Marines right now. That's the main portion of BeTadre's army, and then we got the 25 mutas on the other side. And those are basically the primary units right now. How do you feel about?
Mutas are good, but not against that many Marines. He needs more Banes, and he doesn't have them. So
yeah,
until this Ultralisk cannon finishes and the Ultralisks get out on the field,
that can be a game changer.
Yeah, it will be, but Yaki's weak until then, and that's about a minute and a half away to 2 minutes, in fact. I'm just kind of waiting for the moment where it all changes. Lovely little pushes forward with the small forces of Marines from BeTadre to clean out the creep, to make sure that he isn't caught off guard and his opponent can't just see where he is all the time. It's even taking control of the watchtower as he gets ready to drop. But where's he going? He's going to go towards the natural, isn't he?
He could. He could take the long route here. It certainly wouldn't hurt. It would be actually pretty beneficial.
Yeah, drifting out towards it. He's actually going for the island because that's a bit funky.
Now he knows there's nothing on the island, and if he runs into he's going to go to the main. If he gets over here, he could take out some infrastructure. Spire, Baneling, and Ultra right there.
He takes out the Ultra Cavern. That's actually major. Taking out that Ultra Cavern will deny all of those potential really big units, and he's going to get it.
And he didn't lose a single unit.
No, great.
And no Ultras got started.
No. That was what I was really watching to see. I was wanting to see Yaki just go, oh no, and dump all the units, dump all of his money straight into it. And with the redrop, I think the Mutas are going to be able to clean this up. Now they have such great numbers. And of course, because Mutalisks deal that kind of not splash that they do, they scale up, not just linearly. They do increase damage the more of them there are to a greater extent.
Yep. Yaki's up still 12 workers. I got you.
Yeah.
The total overall supplies are almost even. Remember, this game, BeTadre was down to 3 workers, guys. I'm not going to let you forget it. If he wins this game.
I really want to see Yaki get some upgrades cooking a bit better. He is still on 2-1 for his ground units against the 1-1 of BeTadre. If this was 2-2 or getting towards 3-3 even against the Terran, he could just be winning out like he was in the previous game. But now, because he hasn't focused on those very much, and he's had the money to do it, so that isn't the reason. He's just not been spending it in the right places. Instead, just choosing not to. If he loses, he's going to be kicking himself because this game has been his for 20 odd minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Oh, is he
not
going
now.
for a doom drop, or was that an oops?
I think that was deliberate, but I'll spend my debate going that way. I think that was deliberate, but instead he's kind of going in a weird direction, just getting backwards. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
It's
I
strange.
think it's.
I don't know if that was you or me. Baneling's
Oh, the
crushing.
Bane rings.
Yeah, here they come. Nice Baneling connections, breaking up those tanks. Good splits, but are they enough? There's so many mutas on the field. 36 in this army. And they're going to chase down the medevacs as soon as the boost finishes, picking off all of those as well.
We're looking at army supply of 49 to 125.
That's a lot of
Oh, my.
I did 13 Mutalisks in production as well. He's just gone full Muta. If we saw like a couple of Widows mixed into this and a bit of Miss Micro and a Yaki, the game could change in an instant. But so far, he's persisting with tanks. He's just keeping making those. We're now at the point where the Mutas can actually fight turrets because they're one-shotting.
49 of them.
Just doesn't even care. All the turrets at the third base go down. Medevac goes straight down. When the Marines try and engage, they instantly die off. Critical mass has been achieved. Even this drop in the natural from BeTadre, which is going to do good damage. He doesn't have anything that can fight this army. 3 Ultralisks coming out now.
He's going to get the Ultralist in again.
Well, at least some Ultralisks were started this time. Reasonable damage really done by that drop, but at this point, it's over. Very much the icing on the cake of defeat that BeTadre is being forced to eat, as there are, how many Mutalisks? 46 in his main. GG is called, and Formless Gaming. Yeah, say GG was called. Formless Gaming's Yaki takes the series, meaning he will go into the bracket to face Endersword.